Let's begin in the Federal Capital Territory, where the Gambian President Barrow has thanked President Muhammadu Buhari for the role the Nigerian leader played in the political transition that ended the 22 years rule of former Gambian leader Yahya Jammeh. The Gambian leader expressed his appreciation Tuesday when he visited President Buhari at the presidential villa. Rising from the meeting with the Nigerian leader, President Barrow noted that Nigeria has over the years been quite supportive of Gambia, particularly in the areas of education, judiciary, and other technical matters. He also commended the efforts of regional bodies like ECOWAS, African Union, and other international agencies that made interventions during the period of political crisis in this country.
But Nigeria gave us a lot of support during and after the impasse. And Nigeria have been supporting the Gambia for a long time ago in different areas. Technical assistance in the area of education, justice in the judiciary, education.
President Buhari, who received the Gambian leader alongside his entourage, said Nigeria and Gambia have agreed to draw up a political program that will be of mutual benefit to both countries.
He will tell his team, and then we will raise a corresponding team. They will sit together and see how we can draw a practical program, how we can complement each other's efforts for development. So this is what the next thing we are going to do.
Barrow won the December 1, 2016 presidential election in Gambia, but faced some political turbulence following the refusal of his predecessor, Yahya Jammeh, to vacate office. The Nigerian Senate on Tuesday resumed for plenary after embarking on a 3-week Christmas recess on Thursday, 24th December 2017. Galaxy's Godfrey Shemoge reports that the lawmakers arrived at the Senate premises early on Tuesday morning for the resumption of legislative business, and shortly afterwards at 10:30 headed into a closed-door session presided by Senate Leader Bukola Saraki. At the time of filing this report, the agenda of the meeting, which lasted over an hour, remains unclear, but it may not be unconnected with the lawmakers' deliberation on the outcome of the report by the ad hoc committee on the review of security infrastructure following its emergency visit to Benue. The report on the emergency Benue visit and the report of the Committee on Works are among a lineup of reports built for consideration by the lawmakers as contained in the day's order paper. Meanwhile, Senate President Bukola Saraki has now charged his fellow lawmakers to ensure that they are focused on the legislative duties and avoid the temptation of being carried away by the politicking in the lead-up to the 2019 general elections. The charge was contained in the Senate President's welcome speech at the floor of the Red Chamber upon resumption of plenary on Tuesday after its 3-week recess.
We must put our legislative duty uppermost in our mind. We must not allow the upcoming 2019 elections to overshadow our work for the people that elected us, or distract us from what we are mandated to do by the Constitution and the trust reposed in us by the people. This is my appeal. It is too early for 2019 politicking to override not only the legislative agenda, but the larger work of governance in general. My appeal is that this is not good for our economy. It is also insensitive to our people, and therefore making an appeal not only to members of this chamber, but also to the executive and all political actors.
Saraki, who says the Senate is pained by the attendant hardship that has come with the current nationwide food scarcity, commended Nigerians for their resilience, saying the Senate will get to the root of the problem.
We seek the cooperation and understanding of Nigerians as we try to get to the bottom of this problem. My own estimation of the fuel scarcity phenomenon is that it is man-made. We thought we had left the problem of fuel queues firmly in the past in this country. But sadly, that appears not to be the case. In any event, there is a problem and it must be solved. We await the findings of the committee report. I'm hopeful that by tomorrow the committee should be able to present the report for consideration.
The Senate President says the 8th Senate is on a historic run following its passage of 140 bills over a 30-month period, assuring that it will focus on other bills that will help ensure the ease of doing business in the country, as well as being part of measures to better reposition the national economy. Meanwhile, members of the Nigerian Senate have taken a united front in condemning the suspected Fulani herdsmen killings in Benue and other parts of the country, calling on government to take urgent steps in addressing the national problem. The position by the lawmakers dominated submissions during the plenary on Tuesday.
Human life is sacred. We state without equivocation that Nigerian life must become sacred. When we fail in our duty to protect Nigerian lives, it is a tragedy, an indictment on all of us.
That the presence of security forces is very thin on the ground, and the military had been overstretched by being used in a fire brigade manner to quench violence and hostilities in so many locations at the same time around the nation. For example, the Special Forces Brigade alone operates in 12 locations, but their successes were short-lived because hostilities resumed immediately the military withdraws.
In their separate submissions, the former Senate President David Mark and the now Deputy Senate President Ike Ekweremadu recommended immediate solutions to the killings, including declaring a state of emergency in the worst hit areas of the country. Other lawmakers also joined in the debate, recommending likely solutions to the national crisis.
The report says that the sponsors are known. If the sponsors are known today, they can be arrested first thing tomorrow morning. That's the beginning of it. If the sponsors are not known, then government is failing, because government ought to know the sponsors, if there are sponsors. And if the sponsors are local, government should know. If they are foreigners, government should know. So if we don't start from that, and we take this umbrella defense, umbrella solution, who knows, tomorrow morning one man can be killed in Nasarawa State.
And when you're talking about state of emergency, it's not about removing a governor and putting an administrator. No, the Constitution does not envisage that. It is about taking extraordinary measures to safeguard the unity of the country, to protect lives of the individuals. Countries have declared state of emergency in the whole nation. So when I'm talking about state of emergency, I'm not talking of state of emergency in Benue, Plateau, or Zamfara. I'm talking of a state of emergency in the entire country.
Just as we are experiencing some loss of life, there were also loss of lives across the border in Nasarawa State. And just as we have internally displaced persons in Benue, we have them also in Nasarawa State, bordering away and Kiana. And as I'm talking to you now, I've had to send a lot of relief materials to internally displaced persons on the side of Nasarawa State. I want us to understand this thing. This thing is economic as it is security. But unfortunately, the people who are supposed to deal with the problem are themselves not cooperating.
To be given a place to live. The Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, Section 41 in particular, has guaranteed the movement of people across the states and within Nigeria. And they have the right to move from one place to another. And equally, Mr. President, the ECOWAS protocol has made it possible for Fulanis to move or to migrate from Senegal into Mali, into Niger, into Nigeria.
Commission of inquiry upon commission of inquiry. Presidential committees upon presidential committees. And we have volumes of reports on these satanic killings from Taraba to Benue, from Benue to Zamfara, from Zamfara to Niger State, from Niger State to Enugu, from Enugu to Edo. Mr. President, we have volumes of reports.
Decentralized policing. We must give the opportunity to the states even if we have to have a national police commission to train state police, because it's so difficult that you go into a community to go and police and you don't know the terrain.
The Nigerian political class and the political establishment are more interested in the 2019 general elections than the lives of our people. Everyone here, from the presidents, the executive side, legislature, and state governors, people are more concerned about INEC timetable